Join, protect nature on a magical journey where nature's most devastating moments are vividly captured. From earth-shattering earthquakes to tsunamis that sweep away entire cities, these disasters not only terrify us, but also inspire admiration for the extraordinary power of nature. The house also cannot withstand the cruelty of nature, like a weak shield knocked down by a storm. Like a nightmare, each house was submerged without time to resist, leaving behind only dark memories amid the fury of nature. The flood brutally swept away houses, turning them into floating debris in the raging water. The water flowed rapidly and violently, like an unbridled rage, drawing everything in sight into its vortex. The powerful tornadoes swept through like a fury of nature, spinning everything within reach. The storm was powerful, bringing destruction and unimaginable power. So terrible was this scene, when everything was engulfed in chaos and destruction. The water flowed rapidly and violently like a rage, sweeping away the loose mud, creating a chaotic and scary scene. Streets were submerged in water, turning into fast-flowing rivers, making travel impossible. Soil and rocks mixed together, pressing down on everything, forming large blocks floating in the fierce flood. The rushing water looked terrifying, like a powerful, uncontrollable monster. The powerful water current not only carries small debris, but also drags large chunks, turning a familiar scene into a chaotic picture. The scene was dire, as houses and roads were covered under layers of soil and rock, leaving behind desolation. The desolate landscape, which was once a shelter from the rain and sun, has now disappeared in the blink of an eye. Houses were submerged by floods, leaving only tiled roofs sticking out as weak signs of life gone by. The scene of devastation was horrifying, like a haunting picture of ruins and devastation. The fast-flowing water seemed to want to wash away everything in the house, strong and fierce, not giving anything a chance to stay. The storm was so strong that it was difficult for everything to resist, like a fury of nature pushing away all obstacles. The scene was severely devastated, like a chaotic picture after the fury of a storm. The turbid water roared, shaking everything in its path. turning the landscape into a sea of chaos. The howling wind, rushing water, and piles of rubble scattered everywhere, creating a gloomy and tragic picture. The swift current made people feel helpless, unable to do anything but watch the devastation unfold before their eyes. It screamed and hissed, knocked down trees, blew away pieces of fabric, and shook cars. The landscape tilted. Trees blew up in the storm, like warriors fighting fate. Everything was destroyed, from collapsed houses to broken trees, creating a gloomy space full of pain. The water flowed strongly and billowing like a rage, making no one dare to look directly into that fierce vortex. The vast stream of water turns into an empty, gloomy space, reflecting pain and loss. The rushing water swept everything along, pushing large rocks, causing them to tilt and shoot out pieces of debris. Everything was submerged under the rushing floodwater, like a stormy wave that erased all traces of life. Trees were broken, and leaves flew everywhere, creating a haunting scene of chaos, making everything helpless before the brutal force of nature. The water became fierce, rushing and flowing like a wild monster, constantly growling and roaring. This scene was horrifying. The swift current was like an uncontrollable rage, sweeping away everything in its path. Forecasts of melting ice also bring serious consequences for the environment and humans. The rushing water swirled like an uncontrollable rage, strong and fierce. The immense stream of water swallowed everything, leaving only the roof tiles sticking up like weak signs of the past life. Look at the roofs. We seem to want to fly away, swept away by the strong wind like dry leaves. The flash flood erupted quickly, like a monster devouring everything in sight. The wind roared and hissed like the roar of a wild animal, echoing throughout the space. The aggressive water not only swept away everything in its path, but also made the surrounding air heavy, full of anxiety and insecurity. The water roared loudly, like a monster destroying all traces of life. A factory was smoking and burning. The fire flared up fiercely, creating billowing columns of black smoke rising into the sky. The desolation was terrifying, like a scene from a nightmare, where everything was mercilessly destroyed. The consequences of the storm were catastrophic. When houses were destroyed, roof tiles were blown away, and trees fell everywhere. Thank you for accompanying Protect Nature on the journey to discover majestic natural phenomena. These intense moments not only reflect the boundless power of Mother Nature, but also serve as an important wake-up call to protect the environment and prepare for emergencies.